Hey everyone. So if you saw my last video with the Christmas tags, you saw that my distress crayons was a bomb. Yep, did not work out. And today I saw a video by Jules Designs, and she was using some master boards and she used some distress crayons. I thought, okay, I'm going to give that a whirl because I remembered that I had done these master boards like a long time ago, and they're on 12 by 12 paper. I just did different things, but it looks like I collaged, I decoupaged napkins on some of these and used a little bit of distress tape, different things, but I still think I can use the distress crayon. Here's what I didn't do anything to, so I will for sure use it. Let's work on one of those today, at least one. And I think all I'm going to need is some distress crayons. I have these sets. I think I'll just use the two that are more vintage color. Maybe if I do two of them, I'll try one with the bright colors. And a baby wipe. I think that's all I'm going to need. So let me grab those and we'll get started. I know you can't see the whole thing, but this is as high, I think, as I can raise my stand. So I'll try to adjust it a little bit. And I'm going to grab some baby wipes and be right back. Okay, that was about the best I could do as far as getting it all in the frame. You know what's sad about these distress crayons is, believe it or not, I actually took an online class to figure out how to use these things. All these different techniques, I guess. I didn't learn a freaking thing. I learned one thing that I thought I might be able to possibly do. This one is called Wild Honey. And I'm just going to start coloring here. One thing that I thought I could possibly do, and that was the stamps. And that didn't work out. So, I don't know. Might be the operator. What do you think? So when I get this done, I'm going to spray it with some of that, what is it, triple glue or something like that. So that, because I'm not sewing these, I'm just going to make little tags and things out of it. And because I'm not sewing it, I'm going to spray it with that stuff to make sure the glue holds, because as you could tell, it didn't hold on that other one. Okay, so far so good. I think I might go around, this is gathered twigs. I think I might go around some of the edges to make it look like, I'll use this one, vintage photo. See which one I like the best. Make it look like it had been inked before I put it down, because obviously I didn't do that. See what we get here by doing this, other than probably a mess. That just looks like poop. I mean, literally looks like poop. Maybe I changed too many diapers. Let's try this one instead. Okay, I'm about to have some distress crayons for sale if y'all are interested. This one's, ugh, I can't get the poo out of my head. Okay, that ain't going like I'm liking it, so let's try something else. Let's do some green and maybe some of this iced spruce and forest moss. Now you can see I'm getting impatient because I'm just doing a whole bunch of it at one time. And I don't think I mentioned that this baby wipe is wet, and I'm just lightly going over it to smear the crayon. I guess you're supposed to wet the crayon a little bit, and then you can also do this with your finger and smush it around. Now that's not bad. I do like that. That is pretty. That ice spruce. That's a pretty color. I'll kind of mix it in with those baby poo colors and see what happens. It's not terrible. Okay, let's try some more of the wild. Well, we just did that. Try some forest moss. I think I should watch my online school again. What do you think? Evidently, I didn't learn nothing from it. Not one stinking thing. Yeah, I'm not liking this much either. I think maybe you need to have a delicate touch, and I don't. I kind of wish I had, what color's this? I kind of wish I had some kind of a pink or, well, what's the matter with that thing? Look at it. Looks like it's been in the sun. Oh, that's a tea dye. I don't want that. Maybe let's do some aged mahogany. I bet there are people out there that know how to use this going, oh my gosh, woman, you are killing that. You're destroying that. Tim Holt sees this. He's probably going to be like, look, how about you just don't use my products anymore? Wouldn't that be a good idea? I'll pay you not to use my products anymore. It's, I think they, how they sponsor people to use their stuff. I'd be the opposite. He would sponsor me not to ever, ever put it on my channel again. I was kind of wishing I had some kind of a pink, like a lighter pink, or maybe I'll use some of these bright colors. It can't hurt nothing, right? I mean, look at this hot mess. Okay, so here we've got Mermaid Lagoon, and let's try some peacock feathers. Maybe just a little dab. I'm liking this rag better than I am my paper. And I'm not blaming the gal that had the class, because I think, you probably need to be teachable and evidently have some kind of art skill that I just don't have. That's a pretty color. I have decided though that I'm not going to try using these on the ones that have the decoupage napkins, because I don't think that's going to work at all. Use some of this orange. It's spiced marmalade. See, I'm liking the brighter colors better than the vintage ones. Okay, so let's try the mustard seed and some twisted citron. Okay, I have noticed it works a little better if you use a lighter touch, not so bearing down on it like it's going to get away from me or something. I'll try some more of this wild honey. I think I'm going to put this peacock feathers on at the same time. See if I can't make an awful color of brown. This looks like a cluster. Oh well. It's dry, so how about I get some stamps? We'll start that process and see how bad I can gum that up. I think I'm just going to stick with regular old black and sepia. I don't know if I'll use the sepia or not, but we got her pulled out just in case. And I didn't get real wild with my stamps. I just got some flowers, butterflies, a dragonfly. And if you're wondering why these rubber stamps are not on their blocks, because this was in the middle of I was going to revamp and put everything on sheets, and well, that turned out terrible, and I just kind of stopped in the middle. So now I have part of my stamps are on. Oh, good. Look, that don't work. Part of my stamps are on sheets, and part of them are just hanging out in plastic folders. There we go. Hey, I got one good stamp out of 3. That right there, I'm gonna call that a win. And honestly, I think it's this ink pad, because again, it cannot possibly be the operator. Yeah, that's just not showing up very good. I'm going to try to find another black ink pad. I found this Pacific color. It's really pretty. Not at all what I was going for, but we may end up having to try it, because I think this one is, this archival ink, I think, is dried up. It's just as good as that other one. What do you say? Should we live on the edge and try this blue? got this brand new at a secondhand store. Oh wow, that's pretty. Okay, so I finally found an ink pad that works. I'm just going to do some random stampings with different ones here. I'm not going to hurt it. It's already a mess. Famous last words. As I'm stamping along here, I figure out that part of this paper is slick. Yep, smeared it to pieces. But that don't stop me. I just keep stamping. Can't even tell what that is. Wow, this, you know, this is terrible. Terrible. I guess I felt, though, that I hadn't tried enough stamps, so I grabbed the sepia and start using all the stamps again just to make sure that I have really done all the damage that I can do to this little piece of artwork here. Yeah. That's terrible. This was a big old fat waste of time. So, as you already know, I didn't give up on this piece. Probably, nope, I shouldn't have. I don't like to throw things away, and I'm always saying if you don't like something, just keep going until you do. So I put this away for a few days, but let me back up a second. When I left off, some of the things that I had stamped, like there was a bird here, and it didn't dry. Some of this music paper had a slick feel to it, and I guess that was why. Plus, I was impatient. So I took a baby wipe and I went over it thinking I could wipe off the stamps that didn't turn out very good. And this is what I was left with. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to put this back in my bucket and maybe one of these days I'll think of something to do with it. Well, I decided that I wanted to do something with it. I wanted to look at it one more time. And when I went back and looked at it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So I took it outside and I sprayed it with the triple glue, let it dry. So that's why it kind of has a sheen to it now. And I've decided I want to make a journal out of this. So I already went ahead and marked the size of the journal that I want. And I'm kind of creating it based off of this journal that I got a long time ago. I did not make this. This one is made by Martha. Let's see, Made by Martha is the name of her YouTube channel. And it's just a very simple, this was probably a jelly plate, I'm guessing, or maybe she just did some rolled acrylics. But it's really pretty. I really liked it. And it's just bound together with a ribbon. It's not sewn in. There's no eyelets. And I just thought, I loved it. I love using it. I use it all the time. It just has a big assortment of papers in it. So I thought, that's what I'm going to model this after. That's what I want. That's the size that I want. So I went ahead and marked it, and I'm going to cut it down. And I've already made a little plate for the front. This paper is photo paper that I did some distress sprays on, and I do have a video from when I did all that. I will link it below in case you want to see how we got to this point. And so I just tore around it, made it look rough, did some inking, and I'm sorry my lighting is so bad. I'm trying to hold it where you can see. Did some inking, stamped a few things. I took some twine, I put in some eyelets, took some twine, kind of weaved it in and out. This is a little metal piece that I have rusted, and it kind of has a lot of patina to it, so I thought that would match good. And then also I have this vintage apron, and so I've ironed it, and I'm thinking the colors match this. I'm going to line the inside of the journal with this. I'm going to cut it down, sew it, find some papers and to create a signature. And when I cut this, when I fold it, I'm not going to make it a sharp fold. I want it to be more rounded. So that is my plans for it. And hopefully I'm going to have a couple inches at the top. I'm going to make some ephemera out of, and I will show you those two. But for now, I'm probably just going to do those things off camera, and I'll come back and show you what we got. Okay, so I have gathered papers. When you open your book, this is what you're going to see, all these layers. See all 4 or 5 sheets, and I loved it. And I didn't tear the piano paper down I didn't tear it down as much as I probably should have, but I felt like I didn't mind if it peeked out a little bit. I'll try to move it down where it doesn't, but I have never bound a book like I'm getting ready to do this one. Never done it this way before. And so this will be be a learning experience for you and me both. We'll see if it works. But as you can see on her book, it's just has holes in it, like paper punch holes, and she's run this beautiful, looks like sari silk in it, and that is how it's bound. There's no, I mean, so I could technically, I guess when I'm done, undo it and put more papers in it, but I probably won't, because I like to keep all of the things I was thinking at the time, and I like to be able to go to a certain book. Oh, that's my idea book. And flip through. So I probably won't do that. My plan is to use, because I lined it with this vintage apron. My plan is to use the ties, that wrap around you on an apron, and the straps, this whatever you call them. So I think I'm going to tie it with that. And I don't have one of the big mouth crocodiles to punch my holes, so I'm going to use my silent setter and see if that will work. I'm not sure I can get my silent setter to go through the fabric, but we're going to try. We're going to give it a whirl, see how this turns out. It could be the biggest mess you've ever seen, which probably won't be too terribly surprising. I think what I'm going to do first, though, is maybe poke some holes with my pokey tool just to see exactly where I want to do it. And I think I'm going to do it where I get 2 holes in this middle one. I wasn't going to, but looking at it, I think that I can, and it won't be too off center. So let's just try that. I think I better put some big clips on this, because I have a feeling I'm not going to keep it very still. I'm not very steady-handed today. And I think that seems pretty good. Like, that's pretty well in the middle. So let's try that. See how we do. Get out the old silent setter here. So it's not wanting to go all the way through. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch as far as I can get through on this side. And maybe I can at least get all the papers. And then I'll flip it over and do, hopefully, through the cover. Okay, I think we've got them pretty good. So now the tough part, to see if I can get it through this. It actually was surprisingly easy to go through that fabric too, because I think I even ran it into my mat. Like I said, there's probably an easier way of doing this. And maybe she has the big crocodile where she could punch it all at one time. I think I want to tear off both sides. If it will tear, it wasn't really wanting to tear vertical while ago when I was doing the cover. So we'll see if this works. It may not. And all I'm doing is just tearing off the edging where it will be more rough like that, because that's how the edge of my book is too. So I think I'm just going to take some tweezers and try to poke that through. Get it through the papers. I take off the paper clips and just run it through the cover, same as I did the papers, and tie it in a pretty bow. And there it is. There's our finished journal. I'm wondering, I may go back and split this where it's a little bit thinner, because I'm thinking maybe it's too thick and that's why it's wanting to fly open. But there's our journal. I love it. I hope you do. I've never done one on my own, so I think I'm surprised it worked. I hope you like this. Okay, and then the other pieces, I had a little bit left of my master board, and I thought I would just make some little tags, and so I just stamped on them a little bit more, inked around it with black ink. Put a little stamp here that says art. I think I want to go ahead and cut around it, make it like a little charm looking thing. Put some black ink. I think I'll punch little holes in them too. And I think I'll go ahead and put eyelets in those too. I have some tea-dyed medallions here. I want to use one of those on this one. And I think on this one, I have some rust. Nope, this one's tea-dyed. I had some that I had rust dyed. And maybe one of these. I love to tea-dye little crochet things that you can cut and add to your charms. So now I'm just going to cut tag shapes on one of these, tag shape top on one of these. The other two I think I'll leave as square. And I'm going to add eyelets to these and a crochet piece and a little charm with a ball pin onto each one. So there's two of them. I'm just going to use another black ball pin. Now we have three of them with some charms. I think those are cute. Okay, so I did have to redo. I didn't have to, I just did. I decided I liked the thinner ribbon better. So I did split it, and it does seem like it lays a little bit better, a little flatter. I'm going to put some books on it, and hopefully, I may have to take out just a little bit more because it didn't tear evenly, like right down the middle. So I may have to take out a little bit on that. But there we go. We have a journal and three really cute tags, writable tags that I almost throwed away. So I guess the moral of this story is when you think you've ruined it, you haven't necessarily always ruined it. Please just keep trying, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.